Welcome to Young Asia Television.
Hi, and welcome to the program. It is often said that the only certainty in life is change. This week's program holds to that adage, focusing on how different groups of people are making positive changes in Sri Lanka through their own individual and collective efforts. Sri Lanka's youth have had very little space in the past to get involved in matters pertaining to the welfare of the country, either due to lack of opportunity or even lack of enthusiasm and will. But there are some who are now realizing that now is the time to make a change that they can be instrumental in bringing about. Our first story this week takes a look at an attempt to inspire youth with the drive to do things differently and call for change where it is needed. Introducing TEDx. Several speakers took to the stage at the Punchi Theatre in Colombo to provide inspiration and ideas to the youthful Beyond Borders community. The topics covered ranged from matters of conflict resolution, public and private partnerships, and media culture, with speakers representing the business sector and civil society in general. The event's first speaker set the tone for the day with his presentation on trilingualism and government services to the people.
I could tell you how many things we have enacted and how many things we have not implemented.
Professor Samarajiva raised the well-known issue of language use in Sri Lanka while proposing a means of solving the problems of various ethnic communities by dialing 1919.
Why don't we add a government official interpretation function? Why not? What's the big deal? Same facility, same phone number, same everything. And that interpretation will happen, right? The person will get the job done, one person not knowing Sinhala and the other person not knowing Tamil, and a third party has been magically transported into their midst to provide interpretation services, all through the magic of the ubiquitous telephone. It has got the real advantage is that it's low to no cost. Almost nothing. I mean, these guys would be paid by the government anyway, right? Couple of phone lines. What does it, who cares, right? It makes corruption more difficult because there's an observer now.
Audience participation was an indication of the interest amongst this group to discuss important national issues. The presentations that followed provided them with other perspectives for thought and hopefully action in the future.
Branding is nothing else but three elements that we call focus, focus, and focus. And in 15 minutes you'll realize how companies that did these three so well will actually come out and say we did these three, so that's all.
There's a limit. We have to receive news. Anyway, we are creatures within that. We need to also look at how we can change the nature of the industry itself. That's a long-term challenge, and it involves social and political changes and economic changes of structure, of the nature of competition, of the need for so-called mass production.
This discussion forum at the Punchi Theatre has been modelled along the lines of TED Talks, a series of talk shows that originated in the US, which gives audiences instant access to inspirational speakers from around the world. The organisers of this event had themselves been inspired by the concept and were therefore motivated to emulate it in Sri Lanka.
It is our idea was mainly, when you take Beyond Borders, our objective is to create the space for people, especially young people, to work on development issues. Maybe talk about it or maybe work on it. So TEDx is where they can discuss their ideas. Maybe some of them might go out and implement.
There were times happens when the Tamil
A day of discussion and dialogue may not lead to immediate change in society, but many of the young people who took part in the TEDx event in Colombo were inspired to some extent about the speakers they had heard and glad they had given up a part of their weekend to think about new ideas and their role in making these a reality.
One of the professors talked about the importance of trilingualism, which is very important, because development can only be achieved if you genuinely cater to the grievances of people. Now, true, the conflict may be over, but it's important that we manage to negate those social barriers, which still exist, in my opinion, in Sri Lankan society. Bring about reconciliation between different communities, primarily the Sinhalese and the Tamil community. It's important to show that the minorities of Sri Lanka, that they too are part of the framework in order to bring about a stable and prosperous Sri Lanka, and we cannot achieve them without their support.
Now that the military war is over, lots of more people will be coming in, and we need to start communicating better, because I believe communication is really important with all three people. That's like one of our main downfalls in society, where we can't communicate with everybody. So having that, it will break down some barriers in communication, and people will be able to interact more with each other and share thoughts.